So what'll happen is we'll just do a make-believe call. What it would be like is I'm the potential client and you're the bookkeeper. I've booked a call with you and my name is Rachel. My business is Gentle Frog. And you basically don't know anything else because your intake form just asked for that. So how would you start the call?
Hi, Rachel. I'm Shay. I am thankful that you booked a call with me. I'm wondering how I can help you.
Hey, so I am a consultant. I teach people stuff. I feel like I could get my bookkeeping done, but I don't get it done. And so it's now midway through the year and I haven't done my books and I'm probably not going to do my books. So I'm looking for a bookkeeper, someone to just take it off my plate, make sure I'm doing my stuff.
What do you find difficult and why you can't do your books yourself?
Lack of desire.
Okay, that's good. Okay, and so you're looking for someone to just take over the books completely for you?
Yeah, I feel like I could do it myself, but I get busy and I prioritize other things and then it feels overwhelming. And now I look at my big long list of stuff. I don't even know where to start. And this is what happens to me every year. Every year. And like this year will be different. And then it's not different.
I completely understand. Yeah. And you have a lot of other things that you could be doing other than your book because you've been into business for what you do. Can you give me a little bit more information on nuances of your business? Do you have any employees? Are you a single member LLC? Tell me a little bit about your business.
Yeah. So I've got one proper employee on payroll. I have one virtual assistant who's a contractor, and I am a single member LLC.
That's wonderful. So do you do your own payroll?
No, I use a service. It's Gusto, something like that.
Wonderful. We definitely appreciate that company. We work well with that. So that's actually great news. Is there anything else you can tell me about your business? So do you have a lot of expenses or tell me about that?
So my books are really simple. I don't have hardly any expenses at all. My contractor, I pay her once a week. That's it. Just not a whole lot going on. Super easy.
So it sounds like there's a lot of things we can work on in getting you a little bit more organized in your books and kind of seeing where your financials are, seeing where money's going in, money's going out. Pretty simple. And we want to continue making it simple for you and just kind of take that off your plate. Do you have a system, accounting system that you're using right now?
Yeah, I'm using QuickBooks Online.
That's great. So we would go ahead and ask for permission. We would send you over a detailed email on how to actually connect us as we to your QuickBooks account. So that way we can just take a look and see what's going on. And then we'd like to follow up with another email, ask for us to schedule a quick meeting to go over what we've found and how we can best help you. If after that meeting you decide to go with us as your accounting services, we would have a series of steps to get the process going from there.
Okay. How much will it cost?
In order for us to give you something special for you, as far as price-wise, because just that everyone is different, we would love to go ahead and take a look and see what's going on in your books to see your individual custom price.
I get it. Like it has to be a custom price, but like, can you give me a ballpark what the minimum is?
Yeah, so if dealing with something pretty simple, I would say our minimum is around $350 to $450, but those prices can definitely range depending on the complexity of your business. So if we find additional things, I will go ahead and give you a couple of varieties of packages to choose from.
What kind of packages?
Maybe right now you just want us to go in and take a look at your books, get it in order, and not do anything else. And then maybe you say, I don't really want to take care of looking at my financial statements every single month. I kind of want some more information, and then I want to take this off my plate. So I guess each package will be different. It really depends on what we find in your books. So I guess we can break it down a little bit further than that. Let's go ahead and do that.
Yeah. So after this, you'll send me an email so that I can give you access to my QuickBooks and you'll look at the QuickBooks and then you'll tell me a price from there.
What I'd like to do is we'll go ahead and investigate and we will sit down and chat about it. And during that call, yes, we will go ahead and give you your options where you can pick.
Okay, cool. So that was great. Like the packages were a bit of a stumble. If you really are going to offer packages, you should have some sort of outline of what they are and just have like an index card by you. Your other option is to say, we'll give you options. If you're willing to provide any sort of training, you can be like, when we meet, kind of go over what I found in your books. I can give you options ranging from I provide you some tutorials so you can do this yourself to we do it. And then we can make a plan for what to do for the ongoing stuff after we get you caught up. Like letting them know like, hey, there's some options. You did a great job with the pricing question. I really hate it when I'm like, I literally just told you that your price is dependent on how big your problem is. And then the client's, yeah, but like, what about for me? Like I told you it's easy. Everyone says that their stuff is easy, but I think it's probably better if I just look at it just to be sure.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate that. I should probably have some idea of what the packages are. I have an idea that I want to do that. But I don't have it set up completely.
That's okay. Like if you don't have it set up, you can just like not even mention it. Just be like during the call, we'll go over what I found and go over your ways that you can fix it. And then if anyone pushes you on what that means, you can be like, well, I don't know because I don't know what's wrong with your books. I find that people do really well if I say it in a friendly, joking way, as opposed to a you've got to be kidding me way. I do mean it in a friendly way too. Your workflow of like, I give access and then later you send an email and we get some sort of scheduling software. So then I would be like, give me access to your books and then, give me 72 hours or whatever you need to like review the books. Go ahead and schedule your next appointment with me right away, but just give me a little bit of time to like actually review the books. You can't give me access and then schedule for an hour later. But that way it reduces friction. You're like, and I'll remind you about this in the recap email. I'm going to do the thing. The fact that you're willing to sit down and go over what you find with people, that's awesome. It's a differentiator and something you should really lean into and be like, hey, I'm going to hop on a call and I'm going to explain to you what's going on with your books. Ideally, you'd hire me to fix your books. And if you don't, it's no problem because I know the time we spent together, you will know more about your books than you did before. And that makes me feel good. I want people to know more about their books.
I feel like having a 15-minute call is not enough to give you much. And you never know if that person's actually going to follow through and get you what you need to make that commitment, just to let you finish what you told them you were going to do.
Or consider having a longer call. Part of what happens during the calls is that you prove that you're awesome and you figure out what their problem is. I take a 15-minute call because I have so much content online to prove that I'm awesome. Like people can just watch my videos and get a sense of me. And if they think they can trust me, they will book the call having already had all these one-sided conversations with me. But before that, and even still, some of my calls are 30 minutes because the client has so much they want to say. So feel free to extend your intro call. One of the things that you did well, and you might want to lean into it, is you're like, we specialize in QuickBooks. If you find that there's any like awkward quiet time, maybe use that as an opportunity to say, make sure you know how I work, kind of lean into whatever experience you have and then go into your certifications. I've got my QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. It means that I really know the software. I've got a Gusto certification. Even if they're not using Gusto, you don't need payroll yet, but like later if you do, I understand how the software works. Like you'll be fine. You can talk a little bit about that stuff and then talk about how you work. When you work with me, I communicate with my clients via email, or we have regular Zoom calls, or I set up a Slack account and we can stay in touch throughout the month via Slack. I will update your records on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. I will give you your reports by a certain time, or I don't ever give you reports, so I don't bring it up. Like just anything that you can kind of throw out that is a little about how you work and what they can expect. And that stuff is hard. On the bottom of my monitor, I have a whole ton of index cards. You might have like on the bottom of your computer monitor, some stuff written, not like long paragraphs, but like some bullet points. So that way, when you hop on these calls, you can just glance down and be like, okay, and here's what you can expect. And here are my certifications. That's how basically every discovery call is. Even if my intake form says like, tell me who you are, tell me what your business name is, tell me your industry, and tell me what you want to talk about, something is going to go off the rails. They could be like, I want to talk about this thing. And then you get on the call and they want to talk about something totally different. And you're just like, okay, there really aren't that many things that can happen in a discovery call. Sometimes people will go straight into like their bookkeeping problem as if you're already their bookkeeper. Other times they'll like ask you about if you can provide some sort of training and you're like, yes, no, whatever. You'll have people that'll start grilling you. I need your resume and your references. And you're going to be like, I'm sorry, I'm self-employed. I can send you my LinkedIn. Were you looking for an employee? Because maybe you want to go to Indeed.
Yeah. As far as contracting goes, do you ask for a resume? But I guess it's lots of people think you need a resume as a contractor. And I was thinking, well, I'm not going to tell the plumber, can I see your resume?
No, I don't. I don't ever look at resumes, even in those times where I've subcontracted with people and they've sent me the resume. I just say thanks and don't open it. I just don't care because I've seen so many, we're going to call them creative resumes, that I no longer rely on the words that you put on paper. And instead, if I go to hire a subcontractor, I'm like, hey, can we just hop into Craig's Landscape and can you just show me you know what you're doing? I've had interviews with people that can't reconcile. They can't get to the reconcile screen and they don't know what to do when they get there. I don't care what your resume said. Like, clearly, this is not a good fit. Each to their own. There's plenty of people out there that don't ask for a resume. Maybe put together something cute in Canva that just, here's my experience. I've worked with, these industries and these third party apps, and I have these certifications.
So that's would you give that to a client that's not a bookkeeper?
No. I'm just in a different position. Like if a client can't look at my Google reviews and decide that I'm a good fit and they need whatever I put to paper, then it's not a good fit for me. I would rather just hold tight for somebody else who can look at my Google reviews and be like, oh yeah, this person knows what's up.
How would you suggest? I mean, I don't have Google reviews and I don't have all of these things. It's been kind of a struggle to show that I'm worthy and just trying to find people. So far, I've seen multiple people saying, oh, well, I need a resume and I don't want to provide that.
So it's two different things. Like if you're trying to subcontract for people, you've got to work within the parameters of their goofiness. If you're looking for clients, like small business owners, have a good online presence, have a website they can go to and verify that you're a business, not just like, oh, I have a Facebook page, like Lachey's bookkeeping service is the best. If I need like an electrician, I want to know my electrician has a website. I'm old and this is just what I like. Clients, people with small businesses, they don't have time to screw around and ask for resumes. They're going to look and feel like, are you a small business or are you a person who just had the bright idea to like announce that you're a bookkeeper and you're rocking an AOL account? And you're like, yeah, trust me, I can do this, which I'm making fun of, but also it happens. I have at least one client whose tax preparer is rocking an AOL account and has no online presence. And I'm like, you could be the best tax person ever, but I would never refer you. Like, I can't.
Yeah, not enough information to go off. Yeah.
Exactly. So like if you can build a website and the website has some information that says like, here's what I'm experienced in, here's what I'm certified in, those kind of things. And then go to where potential clients are. So if you're in a city with events, go to events, business focused events. There's oftentimes free events. And then there's stuff where you can go be a guest and tour an event like BNI. The things that'll help you the most is having business cards and speaking confidently. The confidence comes with experience. It took me a long time before I could say my name, let alone anything else. I am talking years. Like I would go to a bookkeeper meetup and whisper, my name is Rachel. And the person on the other side of the booth, like at happy hour, would be like, what? I'm sorry. I really find that like when you are where business people are, they're not asking for a resume. They're not asking hard questions. They're so busy thinking of how stressed out they are and how they're just like, could somebody please magically show up and just help me with this problem? In your case, it's the same. You're going to be somewhere and someone is either going to see your online presence or meet you in person or get introduced to you. And they're going to be like, I am so overwhelmed with my bookkeeping. Of course, the answer will be my books are easy. My business is simple, yada, yada. But could you please just help me? The other way that would be beneficial to you is to talk to and get to know other bookkeepers, because there are going to be situations that come up that aren't a good fit for you and you'll be able to refer to people. And the reverse is true. People will get something and either it's not a good fit or they're just so busy right now they can't take it on. And they'll be like, hey, I'm swamped. I can deal with this like in a month, but if you need help sooner, here's the name and number for a person.
It's easier making connections digitally, but going out to big groups is harder, I would say. Just
yeah, I mean,
going to those events.
I'm not a fan of going to events. There are online events that happen. So if you're like me and you're like, I don't, for any reason, I don't care why. If you're like, I don't want to go to an in-person event, then fantastic. Find online events. They exist. I met my first bookkeeping pod through meetup.com and it was in person and now it's gone to online because of COVID. And while they could go back to in person, online's just easier. The people who wouldn't go to a thing because it was a 45-minute drive in the middle of the day, they're like, oh, cool, I'll get my coffee and I'll meet you on the computer. Take a look and see, like maybe there's online stuff that appeals to you. And it doesn't have to be in your city. Meeting up with bookkeepers has been the thing that's helped helped me a lot because it's a safe space. You're like practicing talking, but you're not trying to sell to these people. And they already understand what you do. So if you miss a word, they're filling it in their head. And you can kind of share silly stories and experiences, and the whole thing just becomes less scary. So the idea of like getting together with other bookkeepers to kind of bond and share ideas and brainstorm, and it's a slow climb. Like there's just so much to do. It doesn't happen quickly.
I don't need it to happen quickly. I just need to get one client. I'm going to put processes in place early on. I'm starting to try to get a schedule for myself when I'm going to do the website thing. Right now, I'm working on a business plan. So I have, that's what I'm doing this performance for is the business plan. So I have more clear focus and direction on what I need. That's what's been taking so long for me to actually launch because I want clarity first.
Yeah. I feel like I'm redoing that on a very regular basis because I'm like, oh, I like doing this. And then 6 months later, I'm like, I don't like doing that anymore.
So I messaged you like, I'm not doing sales tax. I'm not interested in inventory. Those things do not light up my day.
Yes, that's totally fine. Especially if you're not looking to like take on every client that you ever meet. You're like, no, I have a limited amount of time. So I have a boutique firm. I'm only taking clients by application. And if we're a good fit, we'll work together. And if we're not a good fit, I'm not going to offer to work with you. I'm just going to wish you well.
Taking the thoughts of all the other bookkeepers and accountants that, they've, expressed what went wrong, what didn't go wrong. And so I'm definitely taking all that in. And I don't want to be the one to take all of it. Maybe just the first one that meets my parameters. But like, I don't want to get stuck in the trap of having to let them go. I just want to know up front, like what kind of people or industry. I mean, I probably won't know that for a bit. I'm willing to work with many people, but I know what I don't want to do. So those are the things that I at least know right now. It's a lot. It's a lot being a business.
Yeah, it is. There's no two ways about it. It's a lot. It's good and it's bad. It's exciting. It's depressing. It's all of the things.
I know people don't have time, but if you want people to grow, you got to give them the opportunity. So I'm thankful for this opportunity that you've given me to help me grow.